Good morning, and today's going to be King Queen. We are seven-handed. We've got King Queen in the hijack, and this is going to fold to us, and we open raise. So I think this is a hijack opening range. Our hand's strong enough, anyways. King Queen off. Note Jack 10's out, but I think this is strong enough hand to attack. Try to raise, get in there. We only have to get two players fold for us to be in absolute best position, or basically be in position for the hand. And that is not meant to be because both of the players call. Both players playing 43% VPIP or low 40s. This player is playing 2% raise. He's playing 3% raise. He's playing a 3-bet of about 3%, 2.5, 1 out of 40. He has played 0 out of 46. So I think overall both of their ranges are going to be very similar. The difference will be that this player is lacking a few more premium hands because I think he would raise them, whereas this guy probably does not. So if we just look at his 3-bet range, you can see that we've got kings plus jacks, king queen, king jack off. That looks like a lot until you see 3-bet blind versus steal, which is ace jacks and kings jacks. So basically kings and aces, or at least kings, were raised not versus a steal while in the blind. So I put together a range that looks like this, and both of them are basically the same. Difference is that the button, I'm gonna say queens plus ace king is his raising range, and we have some notes on him. We actually have quite a few hands on him, but in the last 3 months, we just haven't seen him as much. We haven't played as much with this player. But you can see that he tends to be more on the passive side. Both players do, but he has 3-bet, so his 3-bet range is actually quite a bit wider. He's got 4s, 7s, jacks, 10s. He's got ace queen off. He's got king jack off. 4-bet range includes 8s, queens, a6. That could be small stack size. With the 8s that he just kind of shoves to get in. Yeah. So yeah, I think these are going to be the ranges that we're going to go for. So this guy, basically, I just scaled it and said he's probably not raising all of these all the time. He seems to be calling them. I am going to say aces, that he would raise aces 100%. So ranges are basically about the same. So let's see this flop. So the flop comes down 3-2-2. That figures to miss everyone. Figures to miss everyone. I have all of the pocket pairs. These players basically have all of them. They're missing some. The button's missing the aces, kings, and queens. Villain's missing aces, and then maybe a combo of kings and queens. 3-way out of position. We just have 2 overs against 2 loose opponents. Against 1 loose opponent, we could probably be correct in betting, with the idea that any Broadway card that comes, we could fire a second bet just as a bluff. Definitely would be much better if we had these suited or a backdoor flush draw. So here, I don't think we're going to be c-betting as often. I'm probably not going to be c-betting a huge number of times either. So, if we just kind of lay up the open-ender and gut shots, you can see that that's like 4.8%. And our top pair is basically 20%. So if we're going to be betting top pair plus 20%, we're going to need another 40% just to balance, and that means we're going to be balancing with overcards, backdoor flush draws, and that's about it. And because of that, I don't think we're going to be c-betting everything. I think we're probably going to be going for like maybe c betting jack or checking jacks, queens, kings, and aces. Jacks are kind of in the middle. Maybe we bet, sometimes we bet, sometimes we don't. I think maybe fours, fours of tens. Um, that's going to help. And then we have some overcards or two card backdoor flush draws that we could bet. Obviously, we're going to try to go like 4-5's already in there. So that's already in our bluffing range. Same thing with like 6-5, but we could possibly do like a 7-5 and a 7-6. Some of these lower cards. That'll be kind of tricky because those middle cards could help us. They don't look too scary, so we could get another bet from, let's say, an ace queen, ace jack that doesn't believe we actually have a hand. And at the same time, if the turn comes, let's say a 6, hey, that improves this hand. That improves this hand. It improves our gut shot draw. Basically gives us a gut shot. 8-7 doesn't really help, so maybe we're not betting those. Let's say those three, and then I think these aces are probably going to be checks. So if we do those, and then maybe that gets us like right on target with like a 42% C bet. And that's probably about what we're going to do. So let's see what I do. I checked, which again, I don't fault myself for. The issue is that we don't have a whole lot of value hands, and if we don't have a whole lot of value hands, we're not going to have if we don't have a whole lot of value hands, we're not going to be c betting huge amount, especially against two players. So I'm okay with checking this, even though this might be a little bit better to bet. So both players check behind, and I'm going to say probably no big surprise. This player is with a net flush draw. He calls a half pot flop c bet, then cold calls a turn check raise, and calls raise all in as a bluff catch, which is interesting. So that's fold to c bet, in position 5 out of 5, out of position 2 out of 5. Fold to c bet 67, in position 33% out. Yeah, I just, based on their stats, I'm just not expecting a whole lot of aggression here. Let's see what hands we have, and if he caught like a pair and bet after a check. Call 50% with king queen on a queen high board. Okay, he's in position. He didn't raise it. Called with ace 2, then he bet 1 and checked. Yeah, I just don't think players are going to be super aggressive. I don't think the check is going to narrow the ranges down. Now, I do think the check is going to narrow our range down. So we're going to actually go even lower. Chances are, if we bet, I don't think we're going to get as many folds as I expected. So I think because of that, we're going to have to kind of reduce the hands that we're playing. We did have the possibility of full house. 12%. That can eliminate. I think we've got some value keeping those. We're just going to do that. We're going to leave that. And just do, we're going to be a little bit unbalanced. So let's X these out. I don't really remember the sand, but I have a feeling I remember these players. And then I'm just saying that they don't fold. I don't recall them folding the C bets as frequently, and maybe that's part of my issue, my problem. Um, Top pair, ace high, no made hand. Is that maybe I was scared, because I didn't think I'm gonna get the folds. So if I don't think I'm getting folds, I didn't want to bluff as much. I didn't want to have that 2-to-1 bluff to value ratio. You can become slightly unbalanced. So we left that in. So that's our range. We do have some premiums. We've got quads. We've got trips. I don't think we're going to probably be betting those. Although against a hand that doesn't fold, I'm going to take those out. So if we are going to adjust, I think quads and a full house are definitely going to bet, and probably two. I mean, we're going to go for full value because these three guys tend to be calling. Or at least at the time, if that's who I think it was, I think I would probably be betting. I wouldn't mess around. I'd say, okay, they're not going to fold. Let's bet, and I'd bet fairly large. I'd bet like 2/3, 3/4 pot, just to see what I can get. And it's possible they both come along with like ace king, ace queen, ace jack. So we'll see. All right, so the four clubs comes out. That doesn't improve me at all. So at this point, I'm probably betting here. I think I'm probably going to be betting all of those pocket pairs at this point. It went check, check, and I'm probably going to be betting that middle pair now. It's like ace three. Actually, no, I'm probably checking those. Over pairs, I'm betting. These I'm checking, and that leaves kind of just a bunch of made hands. Middle pair. We don't really have two pair in our hands, but I think by checking, we're excluding the over pairs at this point. We've got to get some value sometime. I think we're getting value from those big cards. Yeah, we're getting value from the big cards. I know I would have been betting open ender. I know would have been betting these gut shots. Probably not all of our gut shots. Probably not these. So I think I'm probably betting those with the gut shot and with two good Broadway cards. Yeah, that's probably it. So still 67. My hand just gets even weaker at this point. And both of the villains check. So this guy, I'm going to say somebody's going to have to bet. So I kind of feel like quads, full house, straight is going to be betting here at this point. Three of a kind probably has a check in him like 50%. I think overpair probably 50% maybe. Cut down about half. Um, Top pair, I think, still has all of those. I think we could leave all of his draws. Um, and I think that's going to be the same thing with this player. Once it goes check, check, I do think the quads are probably going to be checking. Full houses are checking. Straights, I'm sorry, quads, full house, straights are probably all going to be betting. I think three of kinds are going to probably be betting here for value at some point. I mean, they need to. I think the over pairs are probably betting as well. And again, we'll kind of leave 50% with some of the passivity that they have. We'll leave the top pairs. I think the draws are probably checking, so at least everyone's hand is getting weaker once we go check check. And then the king comes out, and now that's actually pretty good. So once I connect with the king, I think here we are going to be betting. We're probably going to be betting about all of our top pair, with the idea that if we bet top pair, I don't think we're going to have any sort of bluffing range here, because I think one or both of the players will try to bluff catch with ace high. So I think let's get him. So if I c bet with that, with top pair plus, and he calls with ace high plus, he's at 10%, I'm at 82%. And if he calls at ace high plus, you're looking at 12%. I don't think we're getting raised, so I do think we should probably bet here. I think this is a mistake. We should go for some value. He checks, so I don't think he's betting anything. I think he's got basically 100% of his range still. He bets, so yeah, we're gonna probably go top pair plus. Is probably what he's looking at. And he's got a lot of top pair here. And our hand is good enough to call at a minimum. And I think we're only calling with top pair. Probably not all top pair. I think with our weaker, let's see here, we're probably going to restrict to like king jack, king queen, maybe king 10. We can say like, no, let's just do 50%, maybe king 10. The villain folds, this guy folds, so he's out. And you could see if he has all of those kings, really it's these that give him such a big range. King 9 has 9 combos. We get, it takes, let's see here, 3, 5, 8. It takes king 5 suited and below to get to 9 combos. So yeah, I think king 10. I think these are just, I don't think we win enough to make a correct call. So we do call here. He shows king 8, which is in his range. We show king queen. So overall, I don't really like how I played this hand, and you can see it. It's just kind of over the place. We're not balanced. We kind of come up with excuses. I'm sure there's a reason why I didn't c-bet, and my guess is I didn't c-bet because I don't really have any sort of draw whatsoever. But I think this king queen's going to have to be included as part of our c-bet, just to balance some of those overpairs that we're going to attack. And I think we should attack them because we've got two players that seem to be passive, loose passive, that might call with like ace x, king x. Like he is probably going to call the flop, and then on the turn we're going to probably have to check. We check. I don't think he's going to bet. If he bets, then that's going to be surprise for his aggression. So hopefully you enjoy this hand. You could see that, yeah, I think I really did misplay this quite a bit. I just don't like how I played it much. I think maybe even once it goes check check, maybe I should attack with a king 8 or the king queen on the turn. I think try to attack. I think there's other hands that we're going to attack with, um, and just throw this in with the bluff because we're against two players that have a big range. Uh, and they're not showing any interest in that force. Definitely, probably not going to help either. So we bet the turn. So maybe our flop check is okay. As we go with the turn bet, get called, and then we improved on the king and we bet again and we do get another caller. So just not that great a hand. Not that great a hand overall. All right, so hopefully you enjoy this. Look tomorrow for another.